Alright, so this is one of my first YouTube videos, so hopefully you'll find it helpful. This is about the video game Lonestar, which is just about to go into 1.0. In fact, when you're watching this, it may be in 1.0. And I hope you find this video because I have some thoughts to share about the pilots in this game. First of all, I think this is a fantastic video game. I have about 500 wins. Using most of these pilots multiple times, and I think I have a good handle on all of them, except for one which I'll get to when I get to that section. Now, first of all, how am I rating these pilots? Well, the reason I'm rating these pilots is because the pilots are not particularly balanced. In point of fact, the developer has said the point of the pilots is to make the game interesting and fun. Change things up, make the run feel different, and they don't particularly care if one of the pilots is super strong or super weak. However, hopefully this guide will give you some ideas on how to play the pilots in a new way that you haven't thought of before, and also give you some perspective on how good the pilots are, and just maybe why you're having problems with one. Maybe it's just because they're weak. Or maybe you're just not seeing something. And for this, I'm going to be using the Lonestar Wiki, which is an absolutely fantastic resource. It has the pilots all listed in order of their species, which I've broken them out by for this tier list. So, without further ado, let's begin. Actually, I do want to say, why am I rating them on? The first thing I'm rating them on is consistency. Pilots are just better if they're consistent. If they give you a good bonus across the board, basically no matter what units you find, that is great. Consistency is the name of the game. You have to be flexible, you have to be consistent if you want to win a lot of runs. If you're trying to force an archetype, you may or may not find the units for it. If you just take what the game gives you, you will do a lot better. And some pilots play into that, while some pilots really just are not strong unless they see things that deliberately synergize with them. So the top tier S here, they're very flexible and they're very strong. They're easy to use, basically whatever units you find, and their effect on the game is very impactful. Right below that, I have the A tier, strong but needs synergy. These are people who are just not flexible enough to fall into the S tier, but they're still going to absolutely win the run for you if they get the right units or the right treasures, and they're still quite good. B is where I would put the ones who are more flexible and moderately strong, or just strong in certain circumstances, but they're just not consistent enough or strong enough to make it to the higher tiers. C is almost reserved exclusively for ones that I just feel give a good bonus. They're very nice to have, but, they don't really measure up. They're not going to carry the game for you. They're not going to run away with things. They're just nice. D has some of the most fun pilots, but there are ones that can be bad or good. Frankly, some of the pilots in D tier, I have just absolutely not used their exclusive bonus to win. It's provided me no benefit in runs, and that is a mixed bag. Sometimes their stuff can be great, but other times you just are basically playing without a pilot, and that's fine. And then F tier is reserved for anyone who actually makes the game harder, which is not good. It's just like a challenge run. You can think of it as a challenge run. So, without further ado, starting off Buddy here. Well, first of all, Buddy's a dog, so that should put him in S tier, right? No. I'm going to switch over to Buddy and what he does. Buddy extends all directional effects by one more grid space. This is fine. There's a lot of good directional effects if we come over and look at the units. This one extends adjacent attack units, amplification device. It's fine. It's good. But, you know, it's not, like, great. Or this one, it applies 2 strength to attack units behind it. Now it applies 2 strength to 2 attack units behind it. That's good, but it's very restrictive. You're just not going to necessarily get a lot of use out of it because you need something like attenuation device. And then you have to want to equip the attenuation device over other things. His unique is compass, which just basically gives him 1 unit with a directional effect, which can be good or just can not be great. And 1 or 2 directional effects actually hurt. A lot of them are adjacency, like the amplification device, where it's adjacent units, now it becomes the adjacent 2 units. But your ship's the 3x3 grid, so is this really any different? I don't think it is. So Buddy is actually going to go down in the C tier here. It's a decent bonus, but a lot of times it doesn't really take off, and sometimes he's just not anything. Alright, Coffee. Now, Coffee's a lot of fun. Coffee gives you a legendary unit pair, and this is actually very specific. There's a list of the legendary pairs you can find here. They're not always, and I'm looking for it. I'm actually not finding it, but the legendary units are actually matched. So you can get some very good units out of it. Now the downside is you have to get to 50 star coins. And this means if you spend any of your star coins, it makes it a lot harder to get to 50. And if you hit all the star coin events and just don't hit stores, you can do it by the first boss. But it makes the first galaxy really difficult because you're just hitting star coin events, you're not hitting shops, you're not getting bonuses. So Coffee can be pretty hard to use. But that legendary pair is very strong. It's a legendary treasure and it's a legendary unit, and they work together and they synergize. So that puts him up in the B tier, moderately strong. Just Galaxy 1 can be a real trip with him. Cole. Cole's our first raccoon. Cole's cool. Overlapping timelines is cool. It basically just causes you to do an additional showdown the first turn. If you win all 3 lanes in your first showdown, that is super strong because you get double the damage and double the durability damage. You can take 6 durability off on turn 1. The downsides are huge. First of all, you can't move. So if this doesn't work, you're screwed. Second of all, it weighs 2. So you only get 9 weight to carry, and this is using 2 of it. And it's not really helping you win the lane at all. So it's a very heavy unit. It can absolutely take over the game. But because the fact it doesn't help you win lanes and the fact it can actively hurt you in numerous ways, he goes down in the D tier. His exclusive treasure makes it better in that you can move on the first turn, so that makes it a lot easier to just win 2 of the lanes. But like there are entire bosses where this won't work, and sometimes you just want the 2 units that are helping you rather than overlapping timelines. I mean, chances are if you can win all 3 lanes on the first turn, you can just keep winning all 3 lanes as opposed to hoping you win all 3 lanes on the first turn with this deadweight on board. So he's just going to be in the D tier because you can just take his unit off and play it vanilla. And honestly, a lot of the times I play Cole, I just end up doing that. Dong Dong. Dong Dong is a cat. Obvious S tier. Now, when restoring HP, gain the same amount of star coins. So this is very interesting. First of all, you start off damaged at the highest tier, but more importantly, every boss you heal 50% of your HP, And you start out with the ability to heal 50% of your HP. So even if you're playing Shielder, who only has 24 HP, that's an injection of 36 star coins you can get right off the bat. Like, not right off the bat. You can get up to 24 of them in the first galaxy, and then another 12 in the second galaxy. If you hit any 2 vacation day repairs, you get something like Repair 8 HP. Mediocre, but Repair 8 HP and get 8 star coins looks a lot better. And you can always just choose to take extra damage to make sure you maximize his effect. That being said, 36 star coins, maybe a few more. It's good, but it puts him in the B tier, and I'm going to put him under Coffee because despite Coffee being harder to use, he has the same problem where he doesn't really do anything until the end of Galaxy 1, and he has the problem where 36 star coins is just 36 star coins. Moving down to Dumby here. Dumby. Oh, Dumby. Dumby knocks a durability off the enemy every turn at the start of the turn. This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. This is just absolutely ridiculous. This is a bonus that's good. Early, it's good. Late, it makes certain boss fights just absolutely trivial. It will literally end one of the hardest fights in the basic ships with no problems. It's just absolutely super strong. There's a blue artifact that just your opponent starts with 1 less durability. Dumby does that every turn. There's one where if you win all 3 lanes, your opponent loses an extra durability. Dumby does that without having to win all 3 lanes. Dumby is fantastic. Dumby makes the game very easy. Dumby is top of S tier. He is incredibly strong early. He's incredibly strong late. It takes no units whatsoever. You can do any build you want with Dumby. He just is fantastic. Dumpling. Dumpling is very nice. When visiting vacation events, it reduces the days of other vacation events in a circular area by 1. And the exclusive treasure just increases the radius by like 30%, I believe. So this is pretty good. A lot of times you get like interesting things. For instance, on your 3rd vacation in Galaxy 1, you get 4 vacation days. And everything costs 2. So if you go to a 2, that reduces another 1 to 1. You can go there and you can get an extra vacation. Sometimes you can get 2 or 3 extra vacations with Dumpling. And that is very strong. Vacations are the primary way you gain like focused power in this game. And Dumpling is always going to be giving you that. And it doesn't matter what the build is. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just Dumpling will make it better. Dumpling is a great pilot, and there's several treasures that make Dumpling much better. Even the basic treasure that just gives you an extra vacation day. If you're visiting an extra vacation that reduces the cost of other vacations with that, which is pretty easy with Dumpling, it can get very silly. The vacation handbook that reduces the duration of all vacations by 1, I've cleaned out an entire galaxy with that, just done every vacation in it. It's very ridiculous. So Dumpling is A tier, great pilot. If you see Dumpling offered, my advice is just take it. He's a lot like Dumby in that the bonus is just strong and consistent and good. Gingen. Oh, Gingen. I love this pocket watch, I really do. So at the start of the turn, every start of the turn effect triggers an additional time. It's actually this one that you get. So, how good is this? Honestly, really inconsistent. First of all, it uses up a unit slot. So, it's not just like a free bonus. If it was a free bonus, I'd rate him higher. Because Gingen would just give you that bonus. all your starter turn effects trigger an extra time. That would be generically good. But this uses a unit slot. So say you have, for instance, the unit that gives all your other units 1 to 2 temporary strength. That's fine. But now you're using another slot to essentially do what that unit does again. Do you really want a second copy of it? I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's nice to have a couple of bonuses, and it's very hard to find those couple of bonuses. Like, there's a treasure that increases your leftmost energy in hand by 1. That's nice. But do you really want to use a unit slot? Like increasing it another 1? Not really. No. So Gingen's going to go down in D tier. He's above Cole because opposing timelines is just harder to use. And Gingen can get very nuts. I'm sure somebody's going to say, hey, I've got a nuts Gingen build, which was absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to say, yeah, you did have a nuts Gingen build, and he was absolutely fantastic. But then sometimes, a lot of times, you just really won't want to use his unit. The pocket watch is meh. So yeah, would be much stronger if it was just a basic bonus and not that pocket watch. But as it is, he's fun. But yeah, a lot of times you won't use it. Leopard. Good old Leopard. Greedy Leopard. He takes all the units. And his treasure is awesome because he takes all the treasures. So this is actually really good. A lot of times you're forced to pick between like a unit that helps you right now and a unit that might synergize well in the future. Or maybe you have 2 synergies that you want to pick between. And Leopard just lets you take both of them. You're not sure which you'll need? He takes both. That's great. He also does certain insane things if you get the event where you can trade in all your unused units for 5 star coins each. I've gotten like 50 star coins off that with Leopard because he has so many spare units. He's very good. Does he rise to the power of Dumplin? I'm going to say no. Because the fact is you can only use 9 of those units no matter what you're doing. He gives you 9 units. You get 9 units. If you have 9 good units, he's not doing really much of anything for you. He'll help you get those 9 units a lot of the times, but you're always picking the best unit out of the 2 for yourself, so he's giving you the dregs as well. And that's fine. It's strong, but it doesn't get you into A tier that way. So I think he's a very good one. He's certainly a very fun one. And he's a good pick for starting players if you want to see like the choice between strength now and synergy later, or you're having trouble making those decisions. Just take them all. As he'll say, choosing is for children. Very fun one. Merle. When loading the leftmost energy in hand, increases point by 2. This sounds strong. This is broken strong. For instance, say you load the 4th most energy into your starting Gentle Tap device. Everybody's going to get Gentle Tap device just because it's Gentle Tap device. You start out with it. So you load your 4th energy into here. It doesn't get +1, it gets +3. Now it drops back down. It's your 4th energy again. Or maybe you have a 5th energy, and that's now your 4th energy. You load it into here. It gets +3. You then take it and you load it into a unit. It gets +3 again. That's +9 he's handed out. That's simply on the first turn with no energy generation. Add some energy generation to that. He can get +12, +15. It's easy to load 9s with him. He is so strong. He's going right up here ahead of Dumby. He is absolutely one of the strongest in the game. All you need to really do with him to make him that strong is to get energy generation, which you want to get energy generation, so why are we complaining? That is what makes you S tier. Mochi, I love Mochi. 6 max fuel. You may move twice per turn. Oh god, it's so fun. You can just fight with 1 column some of the time. You can double move even against the 5 width bosses and only fight with 2. It's great. You have 6 max fuel. You gain it. You're up at 9. You can move a lot. The problem is you really only regain 1 fuel a fight until the boss. This makes it a lot better, but we can't count on getting this, and you're not going to use it every turn or all the time. Now, 6 max fuel is strong, double move is pretty strong, but I'm actually going to put him down here with Buddy, just because I feel like a lot of the times Mochi is not going to help you that much versus the bosses, and if you build a good ship, you won't need to move that often. So, he has a good bonus, and he's a lot of fun to play, and I love the dog with the racing glasses. But there isn't too much more to say about him. Wind Rider. After the first 2 elite battles, choose 1 out of 2 inherent talents. Where can we put this guy? Well, first of all, it's after the first 2 elite battles. Now, honestly, you'll have a talent for the first boss, you'll have 2 talents for the second boss. They could be great. You could get Dumby's talent. You could get Merle's talent. You could get Gingan's talent. You could get Cole's talent. You will get to choose between 2 options, so you're never going to have anything that awful. But you're not really guaranteed to get anything. I'm going to put him up here ahead of Leopard just because I usually get it. But be aware, this guy could be absolutely crap. Or he could be fantastic. He is very hard to predict. It's a very random one. So he could be like down here. He could be up here. He could be the strongest guy in the game or just fine. So this is one with a lot of range. Yongtong. Alright. So choose from 2 emergency events before each battle. The events, I'm not going to dive into them because a full dive on Yongtong would take a while, but a lot of them offer permanent bonuses. There's one that upgrades your units. There's multiple ones that offer you quite a lot of star coins. There's ones that remove energy. There's ones that just make a boss battle a lot easier. You'll usually be able to pick a strong one. Again, he's pretty random, but you're going to get ones that offer you permanent bonuses. You're going to be able to take them in strong fights, and that's just going to do something like remove a white energy or upgrade a unit. And you're going to be able to do that probably 4 or 5 times in a run. And that is going to make Yongtong very strong. So he's going up here in A tier, ahead of Dumpling. He's actually very similar to Dumpling in that they both give you strong bonuses, so I'm going to put him a little lower. But understand, Yongtong is an absolutely great pilot, and he's a lot of fun to learn the events with, and yeah, I really like him. Alright, we're back. I just got a little drink to soothe my throat, and I'm continuing. We're moving on to the humans now. And before I wrap up, I should mention that everyone gets exclusive bonuses based to certain events. These are kind of random in that you don't know what the events are going to be before you click on them, and you'll probably get 1 or 2 of them a run, and they might not be that great. I tend to like the Beastkin ones. They're high risk, high reward. Stuff like losing all your star coins for a powerful bonus, losing all your shield for a powerful bonus, taking a bunch of damage for a bunch of star coins. They tend to be very good. Humans probably get the weakest of them. The best one easily is if you go for the orange energy one. There's a human-only one that lets you pay 30 star coins for an amazing effect. It removes basically your lowest rated color energy, lowest numbered energy, duplicates your highest number energy, and duplicates your highest color energy. So typically you remove a white, add an orange, remove your lowest, which could be a 1, and duplicate your highest, which could be a 5, could be a 9. For 30 star coins, that's fantastic. That is easily the best thing humans get, but unfortunately the stuff from there usually goes a bit downhill, and it's just kind of nice. So I consider them the weakest of the bonuses. Maybe the mechs are weaker, but they don't really influence my ratings of the pilots in any way. I just wanted to throw that out there. So, starting off, Alice. Who is Alice? Well, first of all, you might not have played with her because Alice is exclusive to the Shielder. And she's the build scholar. Every 25 star coins gained, you gain the ability to pick from one overclocked and tri-power unit. This does not mean you get to pick one overclock unit and one tri-power unit. It means you'll get to choose between 2 units, one of which is overclock and one of which is tri-power. That's nice. It's nice that it's gain star coins. So unlike coffee here, where you have to possess 50, you don't have to possess 25 star coins. You just, every 25 you gain, you get a choice of 2 units. That's absolutely fine. The units can range from really good to kind of meh. I consider this a decent bonus. You can trigger it a lot, but you might not get anything out of it. It's good. Chloe. Yeah. I'll just tell you what she is right now. Chloe picks 2 random abilities from other pilots, but you don't get your inherent talents, which are the 2 blue talents that are just random groups. So basically she's a faster version of Wind Rider. You get 2 talents, and she's going right probably down here. Why is she lower than Wind Rider? Well, first of all, Wind Rider gets to pick out of 2, so you get a better selection. Second of all, Wind Rider gets his inherent talents. They could be as little as you get 15 star coins every 10 units, or a rare unit to start. That being said, you're giving them up to play Chloe. But once again, she has the randomness where she could be absolute S tier. She could have Merle and Dumby. She could have Gingan and Cole and be terrible. She could be anywhere in the middle. So I'm putting her in B, but don't really consider that where she lives. Look at the 2 talents she has and consider the product of the talents. It's almost not worth rating her because of that, and I'm just going to move past her because you'll know when you see her what you have, and that could be anything. People could send me a video of this absolutely broken Chloe run where she had just the most absurd talents and you crushed everything, or she could be crap, and you'll know when you see her. But someone who's actually quite a bit harder to use, Crimson. Draw 3 energy from your resources. After loading energy in hand and such order, apply 2 strength to every attack unit. Now, it's not obvious what this does, so let me explain. You start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as your energy numbers. Crimson is going to draw, say, the 1, the 4, and the 2. And then when you play the 1, the 4, and the 2 in order, every attack unit will get 2 strength. How is this? Well, first of all, it's pretty hard to use. Sometimes you won't draw the right combination of energy. Double tap device can help there. So he is stronger on Shielder, but you just might not draw it. That being said, you can go to events to remove energy, and just removing any old energy is great. You get that event that removes the 2. Well, now he's generating from 1, 3, 4, 5. He can't generate the 2, and you can't draw the 2. So your chances of drawing the energy you need go up a lot. Remove the 1 as well, and he's now generating from 3, 4, 5, and you're going to be drawing 3, 4, 5 every turn. Note that if you get doubles, he can generate doubles. For instance, say you duplicate your 5, and your energy is now 3, 4, 5, 5. He could generate 5, 5, 4 because he's just drawing from your energy pool, and there's 2 5s in there, and you can pull both of them. So you just want to have very little energy with him. That's the key. The reward, though, the reward is stunning. You can have 6 attack units, 2 in each lane. You're putting 4 strength. That's 12 strength out just for playing energy. You can trigger him twice a turn. I mean, double tap's a great example, or the color changing unit in Spacer. You've got 2 4s, 2 5s, and a 3. You play the 3 in, the 4 out, the 5 out, put the 3 out, the 4 out, the 5 out, because you recycled the 3 just by putting in double tap or the color changer. Bam! You're now putting 8 strength in each lane. That's great. He is just a very consistent bonus, very strong. Not as strong as Dumby or Merle. Merle, in some ways, does what he does, but a lot better and stronger. But Crimson is a very powerful pilot who basically all you need to do is visit anything that removes energy cards, and you're golden with him. That makes him work with any unit that loads energy, frankly, which is really most of them. And yeah, Dongo. What can we say about Dongo? For every 5 treasures you own, generate 1 energy. Man. So maybe if you focus on buying a lot of cheap treasures, by the end of the run, she'll be generating 3 or 4 extra energy at the start of the battle. It's nice. It's probably down here somewhere. It's a decent bonus. It's fine. There's not much to say about her. Extra energy is always nice, but I mean, frankly, you can often go all the way through Galaxy 1 and into Galaxy 2 before you're getting your first extra energy with her. Never mind your second, or God forbid your third. And there's a white common artifact that just generates an extra energy at the start of the run, which is sometimes her entire ability. So yeah, I don't think she's great. Huh. Daniel is actually in the wrong section, so I will move him over to the right section here. He belongs down here. Grace. Because Grace is up next, and Grace is fantastic. So lose 20 max HP. That's painful. Not gonna lie to you. That's painful. Revive with full health 1 additional time per battle. Jesus. I mean, this talent, how it works is if you lose the battle, 1 lane, 3 lanes, doesn't matter, and it kills you, you just revive with full health. So what does this let you do? Well, I mean, first of all, you can just choose not to load energy for a turn and generate 3 extra energy. That already puts her ahead of Dango, where that's Dango's entire bonus in a good run. And this is a bad run. And you are loading 3 extra energy here. Can't get wrong with that. It lets you just survive a turn that you can't normally survive. And that's priceless. There are boss fights where you just start out the fight by getting hit with a 40 or 50 power beam down the center. Maybe you need a turn or 2 to get your synergies online to deal with that. Well, now you get a free turn. You just die and come back. Did you need to spend some HP on an event? It's okay. Just die and come back. You're always at full health. It's not a lot of health, but it's something. Grace is fantastic. Grace is an easy S tier. Because how you die in this game is running out of HP, and she lets you do it twice every fight. So, pick Grace. Kunga. Kunga gives you the Mega Captain, and Mega Captain gives you the Mega Ship. Please have a picture of the Mega Ship. Sorry, the Mega Ship is, it says it has more space. What it does is it has 4 unit spots here, 4 unit spots here, and 4 unit spots here. So it's 12 rather than 9. Now, there's still the center unit, which is where you'd think it is. It's the center of the 3x3 grid. But now you get extra space for units. What is Kunga? Well, first of all, on Shielder, Kunga's a meme. He's useless. Every single unit you get on Shielder is 1 weight. Let me let you a secret. If you got 12 spots, but you can only carry 9 weight and everything weighs 1, yeah, he's just a vanilla guy. He's D tier. So in this case, I have to split him out. I'm going to, if I just ranked him on Shielder, he'd be like the bottom of D tier because he does nothing. All of these can do anything. But we're not going to rank him based on Shielder. He's a meme on Shielder. We are going to rank him based on Spacer, who has a lot of zero-cost units. A simple one is Grenade, where when you swap it, you destroy the unit you swapped it with, and you get 6 energy. There's the Top, which gives the center unit 2 or 3 strength, depending on whether it's upgraded. And every time you destroy it, any unit, you just equip a Top there. So say you equip a Top, a Grenade, and another zero-cost unit. You can swap the Grenade twice, generate 2 6 strength energy, and put 2 Tops into play. And boom. Now you're giving your central unit 4 strength and getting 2 6 strength energy. That's fantastic. So for Spacer, Kunga is right up here in the B tier. But warning, for Shielder, he's down here in D. So just don't pick him on Shielder. It's stupid. It's a meme. I don't know why he's allowed to be picked on Shielder, but they should just take that out of the game. Nami is a shit ton of fun. Nami lets you scam the criminals by contacting them, and you can get absolutely cool units this way. You get their units. So you can get, like, the Winning Streak Core here, which you win, and you actually get the upgraded version. You get 2 power. Or Joint Defense, where if you can get 2 of them, which is a little hard, you can just ignore one lane, and bam, if the other lane doesn't take damage, that one won't. That's insane. She can get 2 chain cores. That's obviously great. She can get Repair Device here that just restores you to the nearest multiple of 10 HP. She can get Leapfrog Core, which just starts out with 3 strength. There's a lot of really good things she can get. The downside is a lot of them just don't have much synergy because they're designed for the enemy. So I'm going to put her low B because you can get some very strong combos, but a lot of times you just end up not using the units, but they are very good early game. I'll say that. You can get, like, Winning Streak Core here is fantastic and can carry you past the first 2 bosses before it starts to really fall off. Or like Leapfrog Core here, or Damage Terrifying Spikes. Like with Shielder, if you get this, it starts with 1 power and doubles the power if you lose. So like if you can manage to just lose a little bit and take some shield damage, it doubles from 1 to 2, then 2 to 4. And if you have any power bonuses, say it's at 3 power, because you have a few bonuses, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, and that's just losing twice. So this can get out of control. This is very good because it's actually plus, and then it applies 3 power to another unit and destroys itself. Very fun, very good units, but again, they can just fall off and they don't synergize with much. So my opinion is she's a lot of fun and I like playing her, but I think even B tier might be too high. I think I'm going to have to slide her down to C because it's really just a decent bonus. It's not exceptional. Nian, Eye of the Observer. Eye of the Observer is a 1-slot unit that gives all attack units and friendly and enemy in the same lane double strength. You upgrade it, you get 2 slots in it. What can we say about Eye of the Observer? Well, first of all, you'll probably recognize it from a different unit. Unfortunately, it's a basic core. Yes, it doubles your strength, but it also doubles the enemy's strength. So if you're winning the lane, you'll win more, but you're winning the lane with a basic core in it. And if you're losing the lane, you're going to lose much harder. Which isn't great, which makes you play around that lane. And then you still don't want to lose the other lanes because you're still taking damage in them. I think I have the observers. She's bottom of D. It's just, you'll see absolutely fantastic stuff where I one-shot a boss with her. And that's awesome, but you could have probably killed the boss in 3 turns without Eye of the Observer. And then when you're not killing the boss, you're really not killing the boss. So, she is bad. She's just bad. She will not help you win. Shade. In the first, second, third galaxy, all randomly dropped units and treasures are common, rare, legendary, with no limit on the quantity. So this means in the first galaxy, you'll only get commons. In the second galaxy, you'll only get rares, and in the third, you'll only get legendaries. This is going to make your life complicated. It's weird because anytime she is in the third galaxy, she will absolutely crush. By the end of the third galaxy, and by the time you're hitting boss battles, you'll have picked from multiple legendary units. You'll have some of the best units in the game. You'll have some of the best artifacts in the game. And you'll just be able to crush any random unit event with her in the third galaxy. Is fantastic. Like, you get to pick between 2 out of 5 common units. That's a very common event you can get in a 2-day vacation. Well, no, they're 2 out of 5 legendary units, so you'll have the most ridiculous stuff on your ship. You will see absolutely broken Shade screenshots posted of just her crushing everything. That being said, oh man, Galaxy 1's a trip. You don't get any good treasures is the real problem. You just don't get any good treasures. Common units is fine, but your treasures are just so mediocre. You never feel great with it. So, my feeling, she changes the difficulty curve. Like, normally, first galaxy's pretty easy, second galaxy is pretty difficult, third galaxy's where it all becomes real, especially with the double boss, and then boss rush is super hard. In this one, first galaxy is still relatively easy, but second galaxy can be a real pain when you're going in with only common units and treasures, and say you just don't see anything good in your first 2 rare picks. You can get to the first elite in the second galaxy with like 1 rare unit. It's tons of fun. You feel like you got nothing sometimes with her. I'm going to rank her. God, I want to put her in D tier. I am going to put her in D tier, but she's like top of D tier because sometimes it feels like she's in S tier. But, I mean, sometimes it feels like she's in F tier. Shade is very unpredictable. But I said at the beginning I value consistency, and Shade makes you very inconsistent. You will not get good stuff until later, and you'd rather have good stuff earlier because that makes it easier to win earlier, and that means that you're going to snowball harder, whereas Shade starts your snowball late, and you could have lost by the time the snowball would have started. She's tough. Being said, she can have some really fun runs, so I pick her a lot, but I probably lose with Shade more than like anyone else. Veto. Veto gives you helpful advice, which gives you 2 matching units. Now, this should have the list. Third is only with her special bonus. But, like, these are all units that work together. So, like, say you have microcrystal core here that needs a 1, 2, or 3, and you have attenuation device, which makes you can put a 4 in there and get a 3, and then load it into microcrystal core. That's pretty good. You can get power supply module and phantom. This just gives one unit 3 power in front of it, and phantom lets benefits from every directional effect. So it gives +3 power to, say, your basic core, and then +3 power to your phantom core. That's good. You get weak energy source and kinetic core. So this generates a white 1-point energy. This gets 1 power anytime this activates. So they work well together. So this is really good. Vito gets some really good combinations. Amplification device plus Razor. Razor's a great unit. Weak energy source is a great unit. Kinetic core. I mean, she just gets really good stuff a lot of the times. Even something like reproducing top and single-use energy makes your central unit stronger, destroys itself, thus creating another reproducing top, and gives you 2 5s. So she's going to make your first galaxy an absolute trip. In this sense, she's practically the opposite of Shade, because just having 2 of any unit is better than your starting unit, typically. Like, even if you have something like orange energy source here, which is load orange energy, get 2 strength. Well, I mean, that self-loading core loads 2 orange energy. So right there, in your first fight of your first galaxy, you have a lane that just has 6 strength naturally because of self-loading core without loading any energy in it. That's really incredible for the first galaxy. So she makes the first galaxy a breeze. She starts you out with nice synergies. Sometimes her units aren't the best. Like, I'm not really fond of this one because it's like, oh, you take some damage, then you heal it up, then you get some strength on Impact Compressor. These are both kind of mediocre. So she might not be the best units, but she's always going to help. And that puts her up in B tier. Sometimes A tier, depending on what you get randomly. But I think she's very strong. And yeah, Vito is a great one to pick. And if you're learning the game, she's a great one to pick because you'll just breeze through Galaxy 1 and sometimes breeze all the way to the end of the game. Like, weak energy source and kinetic core here are really good. And then the third one is often fantastic. Like, while these two charge up the kinetic core, this one really charges up the kinetic core. You've got power supply module and phantom. Well, now you get single-use electric arc. So you take your 3 power unit, you add 1 and then double, it's an 8 power unit. And the phantom also is 8 power. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. So she's really good. Really, really good. I might actually move her to kind of the top of B tier. She doesn't quite compete with the A, but she is great. High consistency, by the way. A very high consistency. It's very high consistency to just get 2 good units early. Wolfie. Yeah, Wolfie. You can steal 1 item from the shop. It's free, but you cannot purchase any items. So what does that do? Well, first of all, you don't need to visit Starcoin events practically ever because the main use of Starcoins is buying things from the shop. You can also pop your shop on the first fight because you might as well just get the best item in there. Wow, so you start off pretty strong and you don't need to visit Starcoin events, which often hurt you and, don't give you a bonus. That's 2 good things. What does this cost you? A lot. Shops, remember I said value and consistency? Shops let you see 4 units and 3 artifacts. That is a very good way to gain consistency. There's a lot of powerful shop artifacts, like the one that lets you reroll. Now you see another 4 and another 3 artifacts. Wolfie just cuts that consistency out completely. Now, yes, if you hit a string of shops, she can be pretty good because she can just visit every shop and steal something. But it's one thing. Now, her exclusive treasure here that lets her steal a second thing, ooh, then you're cooking. If you've got that, she's great. But you don't always have that. In point of fact, if you see her exclusive treasure, always steal it because it'll immediately give you a second to steal. And you can steal something else. And then if you have that again, she feels really good. But without that exclusive treasure, she makes the game harder. She's bad. Okay. So I've now reached the end of the humans. I'm going to take a break. All right. So, continuing on here. Why is Daniel always in the wrong spot? To the mechs. The mechs get a lot of events that increase consistency. I like increased consistency. That being said, they're probably pretty mediocre in their events overall. They're fun. I honestly, the race exclusive event stuff is whatever to me. Very whatever. But the mechs themselves are interesting. I say, but then we start off with 128 decibels. The start of the battle, for every 2 units equipped, apply 1 power to every attack unit. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, there is an orange treasure that just applies 1 power to every attack unit. And unlike some other people, looking at you, Gingan, he doesn't require an exclusive unit equipped to get that bonus. So that makes it better. If you start out with Spacer, you start out with 2 identical units to begin with. That being said, they're basic cores, so you're basically spending 2 weight to give everything 1 power, which isn't good. But in the first galaxy, it can be good. And then you can easily find 2 common units that are identical. Most of the time, you can copy a unit. He often gives +1 or +2 power to every unit, which is fine. It's a good bonus. Sometimes he doesn't, though, and therefore he just goes down here and C. It's an okay bonus. It's not really going to carry you. Is there anything special? Oh yeah, if you get him with backup drive that does every start of the battle effect twice. This is the start of the battle effect. So if you do get, like, say, 3 duplicates, which would take up 6 of your unit slots, he would give you +6 strength, which will be a lot better. And I've actually done that once or twice, and that's good. But it really doesn't get out of C tier, because a lot of times he's just basically +1 power to all units, or not even existent. He's fine. I know one streamer called him the weakest pilot, which is just blatantly not true. We've got pilots who literally don't do anything or make the game harder, and he always, at least, the worst he does is does nothing, and 1 power to every unit is fine. So he's not the worst, but he might be the most boring. I can't argue with that. Alright, Dr. Ors. So we're moving again to an exclusive pilot this time. He's only on the Spacewalker. And when swapping, you load 1 blue energy into swap units. That's actually really good. You can swap 2 units and load 1 blue 1 point energy into both of them. That just... So essentially, with your default 3 swaps, he could generate 6 energy, 1 point energy, but 6 energy a battle. That's really consistent. Now, is it great? I like him more than 128 dB, I'm not gonna lie, but is it great? I don't know. No, it's not great. I'd rather have Nami. That'll be my characters. I'd rather have Nami and her random units that might not be very good than Dr. Oz and his 1 point blue energies. That being said, he can be very good for fully loaded units where you just want to stock them up once or twice to get the bonus. And if you get a lot of swaps, he can be good. If you get the artifact that reveals fun swaps every time you move, that can be... He's fine. He's fine. It's just not very exciting. There we go. Let's do someone who is very exciting. Easy Pour. Easy Pour's hilarious. He gives you 4 shop-related treasures. Now, what does that mean? Do we actually have the list here? I can tell you some of them. One of them is going to be the one that discounts your shops 25%. One of them is going to be +2 power on any units you buy in shop. One of them is going to be 7 coins anytime you enter the shop. One of them is going to be reroll all items in the shop. One of them is going to be call for shop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So basically, this gives you 4 out of the 5 treasures here. And this can be amazing. Like, so you get 25% less cost in the shop and 7 coins every time you visit the shop. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Now you get +2 power on everything you buy in the shop, and you can get an extra shop. So you get just basically free 7 coins. Everything's cheaper, so the 7 coins are more like, say, 10 coins. And you get a free shop call, and everything unit you buy is +2 power. Okay. Remember I said I like consistency? This is very high for consistency. This is very high. Does he need synergy? No, he does not need synergy. That's what's going to boost him to S tier. Everyone else here, they can get a little inconsistent. You need something easy, poor. You need to visit a shop. I mean, you're going to visit shops. He gives you the best units and artifacts in the game, and it's great. He's just fantastic. There's nothing bad about Easy Pour. Gold, on the other hand. Also, I love the lead speak. G-O-1-D. Gold. All unit energy generated by units will be changed to orange. This is... Look, both ships, the Spacer and the Shielder, start off with Gentle Tap device and the color switching device, which just generate energy. So now the energy gets changed to orange. This is much better on Shielder because you can put in a blue 1, get it upgraded to 2, now it becomes an orange 2. You can then put in the orange slot to get it up to 3. You can upgrade the double tap device, so now you can put white energy and turn it orange. You can get weak energy source, which generates like a 1 upgrade, generates an orange 1. Well, now you don't need to upgrade it because it's always orange 1. You can get this swap device where you throw an energy in and you generate a new energy. Well, now it's always orange. That's great. Downsides are, outside of laundering some energy orange, he just doesn't do that much. So I really am going to put him top of C because it's a decent bonus, but I mean, sometimes you can just forget you have it, and that's fine. You don't want to have double tap device equipped the entire game usually, and sometimes he just doesn't do much. Sometimes you don't need the gold energy. He's okay. He's fine. It's a nice bonus. Nothing wrong with it. Hurts. When loading energy with the same point and color consecutively, apply 3 strength to the central attack unit. Note that both the Shielder and the Spacewalker can have their starting unit, which helps launder it. The double tap device can, for instance, upgrade a blue 3 to a blue 4. And now you have 2 blue 4s, and you can load both of them. Spacewalker can say change a white 1 to a blue 1. Now you load 2 blue 1s. Bam! You're off to the races. 3 strength is definitely not nothing. And what makes me like this more is the fact that there are units in the game that can get double strength. For instance, there's a common one for Spacewalker that just whenever you load an energy into the central unit, that if it's the central unit, gets double strength. Now only has 1 slot, so you put 5 in there, it has 10. Well, if you apply 3 strength to that, now it's 16 because it's doubled. Do it again, it's now 22 because it's doubled. There's a unit the Spacer Shielder has that just anytime it gets strength from a source other than energy or power, it's doubled. Well, this is a source other than energy or power. Put in the central unit and bam, you can get this twice or 3 times. 9 strength is nothing to scoff at, and doubled 18. That is good. So Hertz can be very consistent and moderately strong. I'm going to put Hertz right up here, probably above Veto, because it's a strong bonus. It's not as good as Crimson's 2 strength in every lane by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still just something you like to have and will easily give you a strong run. PS003. Once per turn, you can load energy in hand regardless of slot color. Yeah. I mean, this is great. This is fine. There's a lot of units that work really well with this. But a lot of times you just want to balance your slot colors, and this doesn't do that much. That being said, it's always a good bonus. It's actually really similar to Gold's in a lot of ways. So I think they just belong up there at the top of C tier. You'll like both of them, but they're not game changers. Roll. After battle, your star coins will randomly fluctuate from 1 to 50. What does this mean? Well, first of all, stockpiling star coins is pretty useless. If you go into a battle with 20 star coins, now it could be anywhere from 1 to 50 at the end of it. You will get your star coins for the battle afterwards, so say you're getting 3 star coins, it could be up to, it's more 4 to 53. This is really strong. And that's because there's a lot of events where you just get something like, spend 2 star coins, get 1 power, spend 10, get 2, spend 20, get 3. And a lot of times you don't want to spend 20 star coins for 3 power. But with roll, it's trivial. If you happen to roll higher than 20, which you will 60% of the time, spend 20. If you happen to roll 10 or higher, which you will 80% of the time, yeah, spend 10. Get 2 power. What do you care? The coins aren't coming back. And remember, you add your 3 in there, so it's really you have to roll 7 or higher. You'll always be able to afford the 10. You'll never have to take star coin events. And whenever you high roll, just look for a shop or something. I think he's very consistent. There's a lot of times where you roll like a 40-something early and you just blow your shop visit right there and go get some good units and roll with them. He's great. He is A tier. You'd think the randomness would hold him back, and yeah, technically he could roll under 10 for the entire run. But practically speaking, I should be knocking him down. He's knocked from S to A because of that randomness. If he just set it to 25 every run, probably be stronger. But you know what? He's great, and I've had some great runs with him. Stone. During the showdown, nullify the first damage taken from the middle lane. So in one lane, you can nullify damage once. It's like Grace, but without losing 20 HP and without anything else. Yeah, this is just what C tier is all about. I'm not going to waste time on this. Well, you don't have to load 1 energy once, so this gives you 1 or 2 extra energy, say, over a run, which you don't have to load. Or you can just take a 40 damage shot, but only in the mid lane. So you might even have to burn fuel to just take that once. It's whatever. All lost HP will be converted to max shield. Lose 8 max HP. Well, I mean, first of all, this is obviously shielder only. Second of all, at the highest difficulty right now, you lose 8 HP on shielder to start with. Now you lose 8 max HP and you just have 16 out of 16 with 12 out of 12 shield. Okay. I mean, you're not going to take more than 12 damage on any Galaxy 1 fight except the boss. So this just lets you actually kind of sleep through Galaxy 1. There's this incredible event where you can lose 2 max HP to get 1 shield. It's a blue shield event. this is something with this guy. You just click that, say, enough times that you lose 14 max HP, and what you gain is 21 shield. This makes all sorts of shield units very strong. Anything that relies on shield damage, because you're going to be getting a lot of shield. And oftentimes what this boils down to is you just have 16 health and 8 and 12 shield for the entire run, and yeah, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. He just goes up here in B tier, probably near Veto, and that it's just a very good bonus that you'll enjoy and will make your run a lot easier. X. After the first 2 boss battles, select 1 unit to copy. So first of all, obvious fact, this does nothing in Galaxy 1, because you haven't fought your first battle yet. Congratulations, you learned something. And I bet this is the hard-hitting content you come to me for. Second of all, you might not have that great of a unit after Galaxy 1. It oftentimes happens that I finish Galaxy 1 and I'm not that impressed with any of the units I have. So I'll copy the best one, hopefully, if it's not a unit that I don't really want 2 copies of. So it's really the Galaxy 2 copy where you're hoping for something. And that can really shine. I've copied a Platinum Core with this, which has 16 strength. It takes 5 upgrades to get there, but if you know you're going to get X, go right ahead. Copying a patch device plus, it copies all upgrades, all modifications, so anything crazy you've built, he'll copy it. I kind of wish it was a call that you could use anytime you want to, but maybe the developer thought that was too strong. As it is, X is fine. He goes in B tier just because you might only really get 1 use out of him, and even that's not guaranteed to be great, but I mean, he can be up here in S. He can also be down here in D, so B tier seems like a fine compromise. But yeah, I like him. Also, for X, definitely one of the ones where you can just think a lot about how to maximize this, but take unit upgrades, take units with high ceilings, go visit anything that modifies a unit to get extra slots. Like, I duplicated a Hex Core with 2 extra slots once. A 5-slot Hex Core is nothing to sneeze at. He's good. Just X602. Units in the shop are free. What? So there's 4 units in every shop, and now they're free. When you enter the shop, remove all unequipped units. I'm going to let you know a little secret. The chances are very good that the units you haven't equipped are not as good as the units you have equipped. I'd hope. Maybe some of you really just like flying around with those basic cores on, but chances are you unequipped them. And now you can just go visit a shop and get 4 new units at the cost of, oh no, there go your basic cores. Yeah. Sometimes he'll take away a good unit, but you just get 4 units for free. My favorite with him is where you get the artifact that lets you re-roll the shop, and then you can just get 8 units for free. That is hilarious. But 4 is really good. Remember I said shops boost consistency? Let me tell you, getting every unit in the shop for free, now you can just spend all your star coins on buying artifacts too. That's the other side of it that it looks like it doesn't cover. When you don't spend, say, 14 star coins buying a really good upgraded triangle core or something, you can spend 14 star coins or 19 star coins buying a really good blue artifact. So he'll just tend to run with better units and better artifacts to everyone. And that way he's kind of like Dumpling and Crimson, but instead he's actually more like Easy Pour. And in fact, he's very similar to Easy Pour in that you just tend to end up with the best stuff in the shop. And the shop is really good for consistency. So yeah, he's great. Just take him and basically visit a shop anytime you want to. Don't really worry about losing your units because your best units should be on your ship. Oh, and say you have a unit that's speculatively really good, but you haven't found a use for it yet, and you have a, say, common unit on your ship that's mediocre, feel free to swap the common unit out and put the good speculative unit on your ship before you visit the shop. Then you'll lose the common unit, but you're buying 4 units. You'll probably find like a common attack unit that's as good as the unupgraded common attack unit you took off, and then you can leave the shop, take your speculative unit off again, or maybe you found what you were looking for and now your speculative unit is great and you're fine. X602 is just fantastic. Great pilot. And finally, why? Why? Ah, man. Why? This is the fastest pilot to get me in trouble because I always want a doubled unit or a doubled treasure. Do you know how good doubled treasures are? They're so good. And then your health is just vanishing and you're like, no, I can't take that really good unit because my health is vanishing. Oh, man. So the net equation is you're going to get 3 units and 2 treasures in each galaxy until the final one. So that's 5 total. He lets you turn essentially 3 picks into 1 double pick. So really you're only getting, say, 3 total with him, ignoring vacations, which I should not do because vacations are incredibly powerful with him. But it's a doubled one. Obviously, there's some incredibly broken stuff you can do if you get building blocks, which gives you 1 HP every time you gain a unit. And you double that, and now you're gaining 2 HP every time you gain a unit. Well, his effect gains you 2 units, you lose 3 HP, you gain 4 HP. The math on that's very nice. You won't always see building blocks, so you can't plan around it. But just generally, what he does is let you trade in. You look at 2 units, and I might like that one, I might like that one. Just turn it into +1 HP. Then later on, when you're looking at a unit, you're like, holy shit, I get 2 triangle cores, or 2 contract cores, or like 2 of the thing that gives you +1 strength to all your units, or 2 goddamn backup engines. Whoo! Yeah, this guy's strong. Easy to get yourself in trouble with, but I'm just going to put him in S tier because as long as you don't get greedy, he is S tier. I'm going to put him down in A. He's just lacking a little bit of consistency. You can get yourself in so much trouble. But, that being said, I have to put him in S. Just learn to not greed. If you see a decent unit and it's going to make you a little bit better, oftentimes you just want the 1 HP because you're saving that for when you really want to double a unit and it's going to make you win the entire run on the spot. Which happens a lot with Y. Alright, and now moving on to the Trions. This has some of the strongest units in the game, and we're starting off with God. Daniel. After the battle, transform unequipped units into new ones with type, rarity, level unchanged. What this means is if the unit's upgraded, it'll still be upgraded. If the unit's rare, a rare attack unit, it'll still be a rare attack unit. So any rare attack unit will turn into any other rare attack unit. There's a couple of things to note with him. First of all, you're not really picking units for the now with him a lot of the times. You're picking units for the future. So say you see a rare upgraded attack unit and it's crud. It doesn't work with anything you're doing. You don't want it. Just pick it. It's rare and upgraded. You'll get a different rare upgraded attack unit every single battle. You fight quite a few battles in this game. So you could see that swap 6, 7, 8 times before the run ends. One of those is probably going to be pretty damn good for you. And he does that with everything. So this guy just basically turns your units into something else, which could be fantastic. There's 2 notes with him. Both Shielder and Spacewalker have a common unit which stacks with itself. Shielder has single stars, which if you only load single stars, they gain double power. That's pretty good. Spacewalker is the much better version, which is a unit that gives every unit with the same name 3 or 4 power at the start. So if you have like 3 of them equipped and they're all upgraded, you'll get you'll get 12 power on each one of them. They're blue slot, so they're decent, but that's the real one you can shoot for. Just getting a whole bunch of common cores with him, and every time it rolls one of those, equipping one of them is really good. But just, you see a legendary unit, you always take it, because even if it's crud, it'll turn into something good eventually. I love Daniel. He's a consistency. He doesn't seem like it, but once again, like X602, Easy Poor Y, and Daniel, it's just a way to get really good units, and really good units are how you win this game. Dom. You'll notice he's the only one I don't like have at 8, because I don't like playing him. I like thinking about what I'm doing, and he eats that. Generate 1 additional energy per turn. I mean, that's fantastic. That would make him the best pilot in the game if that was his only ability. But your turns are only 15 seconds each. Hope you like clicking quickly and like to memorize kind of keybinds I don't really love, because boy, Dom will really test your reflexes. If you're happy restarting battles, he can be fine, because like, oh no, I screwed up loading my energy, I can restart. But now you're taking the speed guy and making yourself slower. Woo! But he does have the best bonus in the game, so I should put him up here in A. I'm going to put him up here in A, but you don't have to play him if you don't want to. He's fine. He's good. Extra energy is good. Just build simple ships you can load really quickly, I guess. I don't know. I prefer to take my time and think about the game, and he is the exact opposite. But, you know, the developers have said they want the pilots to change up how you play, and nobody changes up how you play more than just, you know, speed running it. So, have fun. Ethan, what can I say about him? The first low energy hand will not be removed after the showdown. Well, first of all, this guy is a great way to get yourself in trouble, because you load your first energy into your double tap device, and then it just gets stuck there. And it doesn't generate a new energy, because it's just stuck there, and it stares at you for the entire run. Ooh. Then you feel like a moron. You really do. You're guaranteed to do it at least once with Ethan. The first time you play him, if not 2 or 3 times. Just so instinct. That being said, if you have a high energy and you have to roll in the first turn, or say you have a way to generate like a high point energy in the first turn, you can just load it in and it'll just stick there in the unit. So in that way it could be said, say you roll a 7 in the first turn and you just load it into a unit, and now essentially you've generated a 7 every turn and loaded it into that unit for the rest of the run. Well, for the rest of the fight. It's good. It's essentially an extra energy every turn, which I just said would be the best ability in the game. But it doesn't give you any bonuses for loading it, and that's about actually his only drawback. So I'm going to put him up in B tier, because honestly getting an extra energy every turn after the first is fine. It's just don't hate yourself too much when you load that energy in a gentle tap. Just restart. It feels dumb, but hey. We can all be stupid now and then. Start of the battle, apply 3 power to the central attack unit. Well, I have one up here who just applies 3 strength to the central attack unit every time you load 2 energy of the same cost. How does 3 power rank up? In some ways it's better, because you don't have to worry about setting it off. You can just whiff and not be able to set off 3 strength, period. In every other way, it's just simply worse. Because you won't get any synergies with it. You won't set it off twice. But that being said, it's 3 power to the central attack unit. That's fine. You'll never complain about that. So I'm gonna put her down here with kind of below Coffee, maybe ahead of Chloe, because I don't like Chloe's randomness. Gray is like the opposite. I can almost put her here with a decent bonus because it's just a fine bonus, a bit like 128 decibels. I think I am because it's like, but it's really good. Where 128 requires 2 identical units and like you get 1 to everything. 3 on the central one could be pretty strong. And sometimes you can get something like a razor or a double-bladed axe where that's really strong, or like the weakness analyzer where you can just bump it up to 6 strength, and then when you break the opponent it doubles and turns into 12. So that's good. But it is really just a decent bonus, and oftentimes by Galaxy 3 you've essentially forgotten about it. But hey, makes Galaxy 1 a cinch. Jed. What does Jed do? Jed, at the start of the first turn, doubles the power of every attack unit. Well, how does this stack up? So you'll notice on Shielder, they don't start with any thing that boosts their power, so it doesn't do anything on Shielder, right? And then on Spacewalker, hold on a sec. You start with an orange core with 2 power and a blue core with 1. That doubles to 4 and 2. Well, I mean, that's going to make Galaxy 1 a breeze, right? Okay, so it's another thing that makes Galaxy 1 a breeze. Well, not really. Not really at all. Let's say you get something like Bronze Core, has 2 power, can be upgraded 4 times. You get all the way up to level 3, 7 power. He just doubled that to 14 power. That's practically level 5. Oh, okay. Amplification device. It gives 1 power to adjacent units or 2. Well, he doubled that to 2 and 4. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's fine, isn't it? That seems okay. Yeah, that is what we kind of call okay. No, actually, that's what we call broken. God forbid you get something like Double Blade Ballet that gains double power. You can easily get something where it gives it 2 power. Double Bladed Battle Axe doubles that to 4. He tries to apply 4 power. It doubles it. It now has 12 power off an attenuation device that gives it 2 power. And Jed suddenly boosted that up to 12. It's insane. Everything with Jed is insane. All you need is a unit with power or any treasure that gives you power. 1 strength in a lane becomes 2. 1 strength every unit becomes 2 strength every unit. Every unit in the shop you buy has 2 power, becomes every unit in the shop you buy that has 4 power. This stupid weakness analyzer that has 2 or 3 power becomes 4 or 6, and then it doubles again when it hits something. Okay. Yeah, no, that seems very fair, doesn't it? That seems okay. Everything works well. So, where does Jed go? Well, you might have seen this because I accidentally scrolled up once. There's an SS tier. That's the Jed tier. Because he's strong early, he's strong late. As long as you find a unit with adds power, which there's multiple common units that do this, he goes insane. What else does he go insane with? Obviously, any treasure that adds power. Oh, how about the treasure that does every starter battle effect twice? That's right. It doubles Jed's bonus. Yeah. So, if your friggin' unit had 2 strength on it, Jed would just double that to 4 and then double that to 8 with that stupid thing. Is there an amplification device that adds 2 strength every adjacent unit? Well, adds 2 again. That gets doubled and that gets doubled again. So 16 strength on 4 units. Okay. I've never seen a Jed run that's not exceptionally broken. Jed is one of the easiest ways to win. He's one of the easiest ways to win quickly. He's one of the easiest ways to win in an absolutely brain-dead fashion. Jed is busted. He is both exceptionally easy to use. The only thing he needs is a unit that starts with strength on it. You can get a unit modification, put 3 strength on it. He'll double it to 6. 6 strength. Okay. That's fantastic. Jed is the strongest pilot in the game. It's not close. Like Dumby here with his destroying stuff. That's fine, except you don't lose lanes with Jed, so what do you care? Merle, you can set up things where you're loading 9-point energy. Okay, Jed just gave something like 10 extra strength to start the battle with. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Nice Merle. Nice needing units for consistency. These are all super consistent and strong. Well, he just turned like some of the crappiest units in the game into pretty decent units. He turned some pretty decent units into insane powerhouses. Jed's busted. Just take anything that has power on it. Take any treasure that gives you power. Watch yourself go nuts. It's so easy to break the game with Jed. It just feels like cheating, frankly. And yeah, he's a lot of fun. I actually have slowed down on picking him when he's offered, just because sometimes it just feels like you're not really playing Lonestar. You're just throwing energy at a problem and it solves itself. But yeah, if you want to win your first run on like the highest difficulty or something, pick Jed. Pick units with strength. Benefit. Kina. Now, we went from one of the most brain dead to one of the most interesting because of Disguised Mask. Disguised Mask, replace another selected support unit with a randomly unupgraded support unit. Now, first of all, you'll notice this is weight 0. This is fantastic. Also, it only works on Shielder for some reason. I don't know why. But it does. I could probably make an entire video about Kina. There's some very important things. Like, any unit that does its bonus at the start, like amplification device. Boy, I'm using this as a example a lot just because it's the star of the alphabet and easy to find. But 2 power to every adjacent unit. You put it in the middle of 2 units and now you swip it to literally anything else. Well, it could become a high energy cube now. But it's already given out its power, so now it's a high energy cube. That's fine. It could be like main ingredients and leftover pieces, and then you load 2 energy in here. And then the next turn you load a 3rd energy, get a 9 into 1, and swap it out to another unit. Because you can just keep swapping units until you find what you want. That is great. The fact it weighs 0 is... It's absolutely stunning that a pretty mediocre unit like the Pocket Watch still uses up a weight, and this one just doesn't use up a weight, and therefore doesn't use up a slot, because remember, Shielder has nothing that weighs anything other than 1, so until the final Elite in the final Galaxy, this essentially does not use a slot. What's its upgrade? Oh, replace the support unit with an upgraded support unit. That makes it so much better. And I mean, this is before I get into the synergies, like, you can get. Oh, synergies? I mean, besides, obviously, all the units that do something at the start of the battle or on the second turn and then go away, you can get a kinetic core that anytime a unit activates, gain 1 power. Well, Disguise Max is going to be activating every turn. That's great. Oh, and I didn't mention its exclusive treasure, Disguised Dummy, which means you can activate it again every single turn. I don't know why this isn't orange. This is absurdly broken. I've gotten a few kinetic core runs with it, but it also just means that you're always going to find whatever support unit you really, really wanted. There's some really good support units. What can I say? That's just a fact, that there are some really, really, really good support units down here. You can get Shield Igniter that, you know, removes all your shield and applies double strength. Fine, it's good. You can get energy amplifier that just doubles your energy. If you have an upgrade one, you get a 2-slotter. Whew! So now you just took your thing that gave a bunch of units 2 power, and now you got one of these instead? Yeah, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. You can get a single-use electric arc, or level 2, and boom. That's really good. Yeah, the unit goes away afterwards, but that's fine. You can load in an upgrade device and literally upgrade all your units and then throw it away and get another support unit. Woo! I mean, seriously. Kina is a ton of fun. She requires a lot of knowledge of your units to play. My experience has been you want your support units, if they don't need to be in a particular place, first of all in the middle row between two, because there's a bunch of support units that apply something to the unit behind them and a bunch of support units that apply something to the unit in front of them. You don't know which you're going to get. After that, I think it's slightly better to be behind, but it's fine to be in front too. But obviously in the middle of two units is the best. Absolute best. Look for kinetic cores like mad, because they will just be gaining strength constantly. And yeah, have a ton of fun. She is great. I love Kina. I love Kina. That being said, I have to be honest. She is an A tier. She is not S tier. She's obviously not Jed tier. Every run with her is a treat, because I have to think about what I'm doing every single turn. And yeah, just a great, well-designed pilot. What can I say? I love her. Morgan's hilarious too. He gets the corruption engine. So this adds 2 blue slots in a corruption to one selected unit. Again, he's shielder only. This is great because, again, what corruption does is for every point of corruption a unit has, and it's going to do 1 damage to you at the start of the turn. So obviously, first of all, the first application of 2 blue slots is free. And this does cost a wait, so it does run into the problem that everyone except Kina, I don't know why Kina gets to dodge this, but everyone except Kina runs into, where it's going to actively reduce the number of other units you can equip. But 2 slots is not to be ignored. There's a lot of support units that could really use 2 slots. Like, remember the one that doubles an energy point of the energy loaded in? Well, that's nice, but now give it 2 extra slots, and that's really nice. Hex Core, which gets strength equal to the number of slots it has every time you load a unit in, and energy in. I mean, you're adding 2 slots. Okay, yeah, no, that's obviously nice. You take, and it, not the attenuation device, but the, it actually is the attenuation device that gives you 2 strength a unit behind it. Well, it has 2 slots. Well, now you make it 4 slots, so now you're adding, instead of 4 strength, 8 strength. That's nice. Even the humble gentle tap device, which can, give 2 energy plus 1, you upgrade it, and now it's 4 energy plus 1. That's nice. 1 damage a turn is really not that much when you have any amount of shield. It's nice to get extra shield with him, but this can really run away with stuff and things. That being said, remember I said it needs synergy. Sometimes you're not really going to have much synergy for him. And that, in my opinion, puts him more down here in B, where it's moderately strong, it's a lot of fun, but sometimes you just won't run into the synergy. Perfects. Where should I put perfects? Whenever the last energy in hand is loaded, if all unit slots are loaded, apply 2 power to every attack unit. Now note this is different from Perfect Ring, where when all slots are loaded, you get 2 strength. In that Perfects, it also has to be the very final energy in your hand. So you do not want to equip extra units if you're using Perfects. Like, frankly, your starting units have 4 slots, and that's kind of perfect because round 1 you could generate 4 energy, and you can load them into the 4 slots. Oftentimes on Shielder, I unload double tap device because you have a 1 in 3 chance of not generating an orange energy, and all your slots are white, and it's much better to have 2 power on everything and not load a not have a double tap device than it is to have a double tap device and miss out on that 2 power on turn 1. He's also not really hard to manipulate into being more than that. So say you get 2 power on turn 1. Turn 2, you use a field, move north, and load in 2 energy, leaving 1 left behind. Now turn 3, you generate 3 more energy, you can fully load him again and have 4 power on all units. Perfects is great. There's lots and lots of ways to load units in a way that uses him. Like, say you have a self-loading core. 0 weight loads itself up with 1s, right? Well, if you can use Perfects to add power to everything, now those self-loading cores that just sit around loading themselves with 1 are getting 2 power every turn. 2 power every turn is fantastic. He can't reliably get it every turn, but with some setups he can. It's fun to figure out the puzzle of how he can, and just a lot of times he'll run away with the game. That again puts him up in the S tier. I'm going to put him below Grace because Grace's ability is nuts, but Perfects is very good at running away from the game, and he can do it from the very start. Just be careful about how you're loading things and consider it, and Perfects will reward you highly. Frankly, if it wasn't 2 power the first turn, which is just kind of meh, you might be up in Jed tier because once he's added 4, 6, 8 power, he is basically Jed. But the thing is, it takes you a little while to get there, whereas Jed can just do that because he's Jed. Sisika, I guess. Whenever you gain a legendary unit, gain 1 copy. Legendary units are the best units in the game, oftentimes. They really are. They're hard to find, and they're fantastic. So now this just gives you an extra copy of them. Okay. Yeah. You'll notice the Treants. You'll notice a pattern with them, which is, oh boy, do they occupy the highest tiers. I don't know why this is. It's just kind of funny, but there's so many really strong Treants here. And Sisika is just one of them because his bonus is simple again. Very simple, but, an extra copy of the best units in the game is an extra copy of the best units in the game. 1 double edge battle axe is really good because you can get double power. Now you have 2 double edge battle axes. Yeah, sure. Rubbing core is really nice because you can generate energy and load a copy in it. Well, now you can just equip a double cap device and you have 2 rubbing cores. So it's loading energy into 2 different things. Okay. Single-use electric arc, double 1 thing's power, double 2 things power. And it's just stuff like that. It's really good. I could go over and show you just stupid stuff it does on the Spacewalkers units, some Eternal Stone. Load the same energy as the previous turn, so you could just load a 9 in there and don't care. Well, now you can do that twice. Overweight core. Gain strength equal to double the points loaded. Well, let me tell you, it's expensive putting 2 of those on, but it's a heck of fun. Self-amplifying core. Whenever it gains power, gain 2 more. Well, there's a couple ways to abuse this, but let me tell you, all of them are much more fun with the second self-amplifying core. Get the idea? Yeah, it's really, really good. So Sisika, really, really good. You will always be offered legendary units because you just get offered them after boss fights. And yeah, you'll clone them. Have fun with that. And then his exclusive treasures. I mean, obviously upgrade units. Yeah, okay. So, not too much to say here. Like most of the Treants, just a simple broken bonus. Suzaku, where do I rank you? Oh boy. So after elite battles, you gain shop from another dimension. Okay, so let's break that down. It's first of all, it's a shop where the units, not the treasures, but the units are from the other ship. And when the full game releases, the other two ships. Okay. Items from the other spaceships are on sale for 50% off. So what does this really mean? Well, first of all, you gain a shop after every elite battle. So that's 3 extra chances to shop. So she doesn't actually have to visit shops that frequently. And if you're just looking for artifacts at the shop, clearly that's very good. So coins are very good to pick up on her because you can always turn them into artifacts. Artifacts are fine. But you're really looking for the half-price units. Now, something that you'll notice is that synergy is good. And Suzaku, a lot of the units you're getting are not going to have synergy. Because you might be offered a unit that... because the units you get after battle are from your ship. So you might be offered something that boosts tri-power and you're on Spacewalker and you have no tri-power units. Woo! So a lot of times those half-priced units are completely useless. Happens a lot. Sometimes, though, they're really, really good. Like, just Double-Edged Battle Axe here. Gains double power. Well, I mean, guess what? Shielder and Spacewalker both have ways to gain lots of power. They don't care. They don't care which one it's from. It's great. Destruction can literally go infinite with Rubbing Top, and she can get either side of that. External slot adds 2 slots to a unit. Well, Shielder does tend to have more things that benefit from this. Spacewalker has quite a few things that want more slots. That's not bad. Then you have Shield Igniter, which doesn't do anything on Spacewalker. It's a non-unit. Yeah. So, how do we rank this? Well, I mean, first of all, I think the most important part of ranking it, I mean, this is another great example of just something that is great on either one of them. So why don't you want it? You get 3 extra shops, and that's powerful. If you get the common artifact that gives you 7 coins after a shop, that's 21 coins. All the units are half price, so that goes pretty far. And you can just essentially not go to shops very often and still actually get shops. The downside is the units you get in the shop can be really scuffed, and you can get absolute crud. So I'm going to put her as moderately strong here. Probably under Vito, because I just think Vito's synergy units are a little better. But Suzaku can easily win you runs, and she's a ton of fun. You can get some absolutely broken builds with her, and it's always fun to just mix units from other things. I actually discovered a bug in the game mixing 2 units together, which should never have mixed. Contract Core, and the one that loads energy into every unit you have equipped. That broke the game, and the developer was actually, oh, wow. Because, I mean, obviously no one other than Suzaku is ever going to run into that, because how else are you going to get units from 2 different pilots? So, yeah, she's also the most likely way you will have to find bugs in the game, which is pretty special because the developer's gone out of their way to make this game bug-free. Seriously. This is not me buttering them up. That is the only serious bug I've run into in this game. Alright, Talira, second to last, so we're nearly done. Each vacation has 1 more day. Whatever, that's literally a white artifact. What do I care? Unspent days may be carried over to the next vacation. Okay, this is where we get serious. So white vacations are not good a lot of the times. They're not 2/3 of a blue vacation. You can think of them as half of a blue vacation a lot of the times. Because a lot of times they are half of a blue vacation. Like, a blue upgrade vacation will probably let you just upgrade a unit. Maybe you'll spend some star coins. A white one will pick 3 of your units, which could be your friggin' starter units, and you can upgrade one of them. It might be 3 crud units, and then you just basically don't get upgraded. It might be a unit you didn't want to upgrade over one you really do. Blue things are a lot more. They're more like double. And then, like, orange is like 50% more than a blue. Well, she lets you save days. So you could just friggin' skip going to things. Like, you're looking and there's a white question mark. And what's that going to be? Well, you don't have to find out. Because you can just skip it. And this makes the extra vacation having one more day so powerful. Because now, your first vacation, you have 2 days. Now you have 3 days, but you don't have to spend them. So you go into your second vacation, and now you don't have to spend them either. So now you can roll into your third vacation with this huge stockpile of days and just go to some blue ones. You can roll in and go to 2 oranges, 3 oranges. This is really good. Vacations are good, and she's very similar to Dumpling in that she just gets more vacation. Dumpling requires more luck. She is more consistent, so she's going to go right ahead of Dumpling. Yeah, she's very fun. I highly recommend her. Just remember, don't go to white vacations with her unless you get Vacation Handbook, at which point she's absurdly broken. But, just don't go to white vacations with her and you'll be fine. Save them up and instead of 2 whites, get an orange. You will not regret it, I assure you. Vaughn. The only one without a race. You're regarded as all races and can detect events with race-exclusive options. This is really important because otherwise he wouldn't have an ability. There are so few race-exclusive options, which you'll quickly realize by playing Vaughn, where he can load in, there's 5 vacation choices, and he doesn't even have a race-exclusive option in any of them. Look, race-exclusive options are usually pretty good. You don't even always want to pick them, but they are usually pretty good, and it's nice to have the access. And detecting them can be a lot of fun. I mean, it can lead to bad choices because you just really want to pick that over what might be a better choice. Like, you're looking at a blue upgrade event, and then you've also got, like, some blue shield event. But, oh my god, it's got some exclusive choice. And the exclusive choice just turns out to be you can spend a bunch of money to get a little more shield. It's like, oh, come on, I would much rather upgrade some of my units. So, he can be a bit of a trap, but as long as you just remember that the race stuff is fine, he just once again falls into a very nice bonus. I'm going to kind of put him here with the 3 power on your middle unit. Yeah, decent bonus. So, this is my tier list. It may change on the launch of the game for the third one. I mean, obviously stuff like Kunga, and I haven't discussed it. If people are interested, I might make a video discussing, like, because a lot of the valuations of these units, of these pilots, change based on whether you're playing Space or Shielder. And when the third ship comes out, it'd be interesting to discuss, like, whether something's a lot stronger or a lot weaker based on what ship you have. Like Gray here with the 3 strength. Just because of the existence of Double-Edged Battle Axe, which can be 6 strength, I might bump her up to, like, B tier on Spacer, because it's such a good synergy when it works. So good. Perfex gets a little bit of that too. I think Perfex is a little better on Shielder than he is on Spacer. But I mean, that's fine. 128 dB is the same thing. Kunga's obviously way better on Spacer than is on Shielder. Yeah. I think Shade's a little better on Shielder too, just because I like the common Shielder units a little more than I like the common Spacer units. Personal preference. So I think she's obviously, she's probably still in D, but maybe she slides up to C. I don't know. I think Buddy's a little better on Spacer just because there's a few really good synergies that can happen there. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to really dive into that, and that might be fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this was informative or fun. And yeah, please leave me some feedback because I'll be doing this again.